Hey everyone, welcome to this explainer. Today we're diving straight into the modernized onboarding experience of the new MacBook Neo. Whether you're upgrading your daily driver or making the jump from another ecosystem, we're going to break down Apple's entire setup process, from cutting that box tape all the way to reaching your brand new desktop.
You know, buying a new computer used to be incredibly straightforward. Like our source text says, you opened the box, connected it to Wi-Fi, answered a few questions, and started using it. And honestly, the MacBook Neo completely keeps that core simplicity intact, but it modernizes the whole experience with smart layers of security, privacy, and personalization before it hands the keys over to you.
Okay, let's dive right into our roadmap for today. We'll start with unboxing the MacBook Neo, then meeting the setup assistant. After that, we'll weigh fresh start versus migration, cover security, privacy, and AI, and finally, reach your first desktop.
Section 1. Unboxing the MacBook Neo, the physical hardware.
So, Apple intentionally keeps this physical hardware experience super minimal, so you aren't overwhelmed right out of the gate. Inside the box, you've basically just got the Neo itself, the main event, plus your charging accessories and some basic documentation. That's literally it. There's no complex assembly required here. The packaging is just the very last protective layer between you and the computer.
And here's the best part. There's no massive manual of physical controls to read. Actually, there isn't even a power button sequence to learn. You literally just open the lid and the MacBook Neo boots up automatically. It's like magic, shifting your focus immediately right to the screen.
Moving right along to Section 2, meeting the setup assistant. The basics.
Right off the bat, you're going to encounter a few rapid-fire steps just to establish a baseline. Step 1 is language, region, and accessibility. This just tells macOS how your keyboard should behave. Step 2, getting connected to Wi-Fi, and Step 3 is your Apple account. Signing in here is absolutely crucial. It acts like a master key, instantly linking your Neo with all your existing iCloud services behind the scenes. So what exactly is the Setup Assistant? Well, it's simply the guided macOS process that takes a Mac from its factory condition and turns it into your personal computer, just by asking a few simple questions. Remember, the computer is doing all the heavy computational lifting here. You just have to make your choices and move forward.
Section 3. Fresh start or migration. The crossroads.
Now pause for a second, because this is the one critical decision really worth pondering before setup day arrives. On one side, you've got starting fresh. This gives you a totally clean foundation and a vastly faster setup process. On the flip side, migration basically clones your old computing environment. Now that naturally takes much longer because it has to move all those files and apps over. Neither path is universally better. Just knowing what you want beforehand takes all the stress out of the moment. As our source text perfectly captures, there's a difference between setting up the Mac and rebuilding your entire computing environment. So, if you choose migration and find yourself staring at a progress bar for an hour because you're moving massive amounts of data, don't panic. Seriously, it's completely normal. The Mac is just doing the heavy lifting of rebuilding your digital life. Which brings us to Section 4, Security, Privacy, and AI, Modern Safeguards and Tech. Next up, you'll be prompted to set up Touch ID. And it's an incredibly straightforward process. You just rest your finger on the sensor until the Mac learns it. Now, I know it might feel like basic admin work right now, but trust me on this. By drastically reducing how often you have to manually type out passwords later, it is a feature you will genuinely appreciate every single day from here on out. Of course, setting up a Mac today also means encountering Apple Intelligence features. But hey, don't worry, you absolutely do not need to become an AI expert today. Your first hour doesn't need to be an AI tutorial. Just get the computer configured first. You can explore all those intelligence features later on when you actually have a specific reason to use them. Finally, Section 5, Reaching Your First Desktop, the finish line.
The moment of truth.
The setup screens disappear, the menu bar loads at the top, the dock pops up at the bottom. You are officially looking at macOS. But wait, before you dive into the deep end, let's run through a quick checklist. Open System Settings and check for a software update. Verify your Apple account appears correctly. Review Find My, privacy, and security settings, and critically, think about your backup strategy before you fill up the drive. I know it's super tempting to turn this moment into a frantic downloading marathon, but remember, there is absolutely no prize for installing everything you've ever used during the first hour. Honestly, just start with the software you actually need today, and let the machine grow with you naturally as your needs evolve. And this brilliantly illustrates a really magical psychological shift. As the text puts it,
The MacBook Neo isn't really a new product anymore. It's just your Mac. The packaging is gone, the questions have stopped, the account is fully synced. You're no longer holding a boxed consumer product. You're operating a highly personalized machine. Your machine.
You've successfully navigated the unboxing, the setup assistant, that big migration decision, and the modern security features. Which leaves us with one final, exciting question. Now that it is officially your Mac, what will you create first? Thanks so much for joining me for this explainer, and enjoy your brand new digital environment.